I'm Sue Lee, writer and artist for comic books. Well, the writer has an idea of what the page should look like, or it's like a director. They tell you what the scene is, and it's up to the actors to interpret the scene, right? So as an artist, I'm like, okay, they'd say, oh, I want a empty room or something like that, for instance, and I was like, okay, now I have to imagine what the angle of the empty room is going to be, what it would be the most dramatic positioning, lighting, what the most dramatic, expression, etc., all of that. So I guess the thing about an artist is that you can picture it in your head. And usually if you can picture it in your head, that's the way I'm going to go, if that makes sense. A cover, every cover artist is different. Some people just do pinup, some people do, in my case, I want to tell a story in one picture. Without spoiling everything, I want to have elements in where you're like, oh, I can kind of expect something from this thing, like, my Chitara covers, I wanted it to be dreamy. So you imagine, oh, it's something like fantasy, dreamy, it looks romantic. So you have the feel of what this issue is going to be about. And that's kind of how I try to convey covers. And because it's not a panel or a page, it has to be like to the point, if that makes sense. Also super pretty, it has to stand out on a bookshelf in millions of, with other millions of comics on a bookshop. So it's not just like telling a story, it's making sure people stop and look at it 2 times. If people do a double take, you got them.
Hi, I'm Corinne. I'm a comic book artist for Scholastic. So when WandaVision ended, I was really kind of taken with how they had done that whole story and about her trauma and everything. So I wanted to do something where you could visually see her using her powers to kind of try and repel the bad memories, but they just won't go away. So I have her in Westview, underneath the Westview electronics sign, in front of like a DVD kind of television store. And she is using her powers to try and forget all of the bad things that happened in real life by creating fake things around that you would see in the show.
Guys, Casey with Sigma Comics. I'm here at Boston Comic Con, and I've got our wonderful series, Here Comes Calico. Hector Gill is the Calico. He is living in New York City as a boxer. By day, he is sparring and getting ready for at night to put on his catsuit and kick the shit out of animal abusers. So this guy is intense and hardcore, but no one cares that the bad guys, especially people who are kicking puppies, are getting their just desserts. So we have our Western style comics, and we also have our our Eastern style manga that is the same storyline as the Western style comics. It's just how you like to ingest your reading material is all. The best part about us, every single sale is a donation. So you are essentially making a donation to a charitable cause and getting a badass comic book at the same time. So if you want to help support animals, help support our cause, but be thoroughly entertained all at the same time, remember Sigma Comics.
Hi everyone, my name is Seancarlsonart. I'm a freelance artist out of Brooklyn, New York, and we're here today at Fan Expo Boston 2025. So there's a couple pieces. I would have to say either my Super Smash Brothers piece that I have here. The original of that one is about 4 feet long on its longest side. It was a little side project of mine that I was slowly whittling away at. Took about a year to do. I packed a lot of detail into that one. Items, characters, Easter eggs. Super Smash Brothers Melee, the whole game, all in one image. That and the Majora's Mask, a couple of my favorite games here. I'm a big Nintendo fan, as you can see. Any of the pieces that are really big, super detailed, they take a lot of time and energy to put together. So once you're done with them, there's a real strong feeling of accomplishment. So, it all starts with an idea. Everything I do, I'm a fan of. And I think that's a very good guiding principle, kind of a North Star. anything that I do, any piece I come up with, any idea I have, I always think of it of the perspective of what would I like to see as a fan. So, you know, the biggest inspiration is always just the video games, the comics, the characters, the movies, all that. It always starts as, you know, very simple thumbnail, just tiny little picture where I sketch out the composition, try to get it from my mind onto paper. From there, I go in and I work digitally for all the sort of preliminary planning, you know, initial sketching stages. Then once that's solidified, I use that as a reference for the final piece, which is always traditional hand done, mainly acrylic and or watercolor on canvas or illustration board, all hand done.